Tom!
Part 1. White Clouds. Lone Moon. To War. Together, the people of Fodlan relish the beauty of the brilliant moon overhead as another year ends. They recall sad partings and new acquaintances alike, but each person must still walk their chosen path alone. With each day, the presence of spring grows stronger, and yet a lone moon still haunts the sky, a silent reminder perhaps of some inescapable truth.
$5,000 gold received from the Church of Saros, and we're starting this already 2 weeks in. Canyonot's birthday is this month. I got a birthday gift from Claude, letter from Claude, golden deer bracelet.
Unforgivable! I cannot fathom that the Adrestian Empire would embark on such a violent course of action.
The fault is my own. I failed to see the wickedness within Edelgard's heart.
What is her objective?
There is no question on that front. She clearly wishes to conquer all of Fodlan. And in order to achieve her own selfish ambitions, she plotted with ill-meaning strangers and defiled the Holy Tomb. Or perhaps her ambitions are even grander than we know. Perhaps she is planning to make herself a false deity by demonizing the Church of Saros.
Adrestia received its very name through a divine oracle. To injure the goddess is a sin most foul that shall not be forgiven, nor forgotten. We must stop the Empire, and quickly.
I have returned, Rhea.
Welcome back, Shamir. Were you able to discern the Empire's movements?
Their main troops are marching towards Garreg Mach. It is said that they will join forces with Edelgard's army and arrive within 2 weeks.
2 weeks? That is not enough time. It will require all of our efforts just to prepare our defenses before then. We must send notice to all surrounding villages at once. We must order the residents of Garreg Mach to flee for their lives.
It will be done.
Professor, listen closely. If our enemy invades the monastery, I will have no choice but to stand upon the battlefield. If something happens to me, I am entrusting my sacred duties to you.
Sacred duties?
You must have guessed it by now. The truth of who you are. Or perhaps I should say, your lost memories are surely beginning to return. I have acted all these long years as a mere proxy for you. But the duty is yours, and yours alone. Only you can lead the people of Fodlan.
Rhea, please. You must tell me all that you know. I beg of you. That one is the progenitor god. Am I correct?
In a sense. Our dear professor is a vessel. One who carries the power of the progenitor god within. In time, the vessel will become one with the power contained within, and the progenitor god shall return to this world.
I see. I trust that you are aware of the questionable nature of this experiment. But I suppose there is no turning back.
I ask that you help our friend. And in doing so, help her. I am waiting and hoping for the moment when our Creator rules this wayward land once more.
I understand. As ever, I will take you at your word.
Lady Rhea, brother, I will do my part as well.
Flame, were you eavesdropping? Regardless, I am glad to hear it. You owe your life to the Professor, after all. And in the end, they may prove to be our brethren.
You have my gratitude, Sedith. And you as well, Flame. As followers of the progenitor god, it is up to us to see our mission through.
Heavy stuff coming up here. But We got a bit of free time. Hello, everybody! Tom Fox here. Welcome back to more Fire Emblem Three Houses. In the last episode, Edelgard went aggro. Or rather, she was aggro the entire time, and we only now found out about it by defeating her, by besting her in combat. But there is a lot. Yeah, you could actually have seen hints of it in previous sessions. Specifically, when Edelgard and Monica were talking when Monica initially came back, or whatever her name was when she was not human. But in this episode, we have to prepare for war. Apparently, I'm some kind of progenitor god, and we're gonna be moving around here a bunch. So he's already mastered this class. I think I am going to take the advice of some of y'all and change Lawrence's class to Paladin for this chapter. Hopefully it works out. If he had failed, I would have been most unhappy. Gain some stat bonuses as well.
Was there any doubt?
2 strength. Yes, he will change that class. I've cut him off from magic, but that's gonna be temporary until I get him get his riding and lance skills up. Does anybody else need to be changed here? Has anybody else mastered the class that they're currently in? Oh, I thought I had already changed Bernadetta to a sniper, but I guess not. Let's go and make Bernadetta a sniper then. Also stat bonuses.
I passed. I passed.
Change it to an early certified class. Dorothy is gonna stay as a dancer. Let me just check a little bit higher. Let me check. Who was it? Cyril. Cyril, I could theoretically. I can't do any of these tests because I don't have a thing to make him into it. But Cyril, I could try making into a warrior. However, I'm gonna go ahead and be done with this. Also, when I said that, like, in the last episode, you know, next episode, To War, I didn't realize this chapter was going to be called To War. I want to see if we have what battles we have as well. Really nothing. So I think we're gonna be doing 2 stints of exploration for this. It's quiet. All right, let's change our attire. Back to war. And we'll also take off his glasses as well. Anything on the bulletin board? Eagle Eye. I can fast travel to Seteth immediately to get to this, but before we do that... I found Petra.
I am owing big debts to Duke Gert of the Empire. He is the Minister of Affairs that are foreign. He is a friend of Edelgard. He is to her side. What should I be doing?
Ooh. This is going to be interesting. We're going to be seeing everybody's sort of like doubts and reactions to everything that's been going on. What will people think? Bernadetta isn't in her room at this point either. Ingrid is here.
To think that the Flame Emperor was Edelgard all along. Flame's abduction? Geralt's murder? The turmoil in Ramire Village? Whether or not she was the mastermind behind what happened, it at least seems like she was involved. And yet she was able to remain so composed while she was enrolled at the Officers' Academy.
One thing we have to remember as well is that people referred to, or the cult people referred to Edelgard as their creation.
What does war with Edelgard mean for us, Professor? And why does she even want that?
I don't know.
Yeah, I guess we'd have to ask her. That's how it always goes, I guess. You never realize something can't be undone until you've done it.
All right, greenhouse. I'd like to do some gardening, please. In these rough times here, we can still take simple joys in things such as gardening. Plant them seeds. I'm gonna plant some more red flower seeds. All right, and we cultivate them. Not a good yield this time around, so I guess infusing with magic is going to be the best way to go about this. Just making sure I didn't miss anybody. Nobody's at the fishing pond. I'll check the dining hall next. I will be doing my usual fishing bout as well. Unless, well, let me check the calendar. No, there doesn't seem to be any sort of like fishing thing. There is a rare monster sighting in next week that I might do, but I'm not entirely sure. Hello, Lindhart.
The most important nobles in the Empire are known for taking power from the previous emperor, my father included. I didn't think it possible that the Imperial Princess could ascend the throne so easily. However, it seems that both my father and Caspar's are supporting Edelgard. Having both the Minister of Domestic Affairs and Minister of Military Affairs on your side gives you total control over the Empire's military and finances. You must have been making preparations for quite some time without anyone noticing.
You also have to kind of think about, like, what exactly is going through, not really what's going through their heads per se, but like, what exactly is their feeling about staying here when the place that they're at is going to become a battleground and they'll be torn between both sides?
I hear the Alliance's territory will be in danger if we don't get rid of these Empire guys. If the Alliance is in danger, that means my sister's in danger too. There's no way I'm gonna allow that. It doesn't matter how many guys they throw at us. I'll beat them all. These muscles aren't just for show. But first, I gotta get some food.
Raphael. As simple as ever, Raphael.
Really?
Gatekeeper?
Pardon me. Greetings, Professor. Something to report. Unexpected, isn't it? Apparently, this is the first time Garreg Mach has been invaded in its whole 995-year history. It's my job to protect this gate, so even if enemies come in droves, I will never let them through. I hope we both survive. Let's battle with all our might and pray we win this thing.
Oh my god, he's going to die! He can't just say stuff like that. He's going to die!
You know, Professor, I'm glad that I came to the Officers' Academy. I feel accepted here. I've learned so much. Honestly, I'm surprised at how much I've grown. So, I will not let the Academy be destroyed. It's important to me, and I will protect it.
I feel the same.
I feel braver just hearing you say that, Professor. We're gonna win this, Professor.
Alright. I'm gonna just start grabbing as much as I can around the shops here as well. Because with all the fishing I plan on doing.
Well, I'll be.
You know, I usually do like my fishing stuff off stream as well, so or off stream, outside of recordings as well. So I'll buy everything I need once I finish with this episode. Ferdinand.
Half of the Empire's 6 great noble families have declared their support for Edelgard. Of the other 3, Lord Vestra was assassinated. Hubert, his son, will succeed him. Bernadetta's father, Count Varley, is under house arrest. His wife is now supporting Edelgard. And my father, he was stripped of his role as Prime Minister. As a result, House Eyre has lost all of its power, all of its lands. We have lost everything. What do I do?
Political, compromise of the House of Black Eagles. What is to be done? What can be done? Let's head over to the Knights Barracks. See who we can talk to there. Gilbert's here.
What? There are always small power struggles, still. It has been hundreds of years since all of Fodlan was consumed by war. I didn't actually think it would come to this. I feel as though I'm not in my rightful place. I cannot protect the things I should. Professor, if I survive this war, I wish to return to my homeland, to the land of my king.
Hello, Shamir.
We're falling behind. I don't know that we can keep up with the new Emperor. To think that she was able to raise an army of that size right under our noses. However hard we fight, I give us a 50% chance of winning. The enemy has too many advantages. We must make careful preparations.
Yeah, she doesn't give me the faculty training I need. There's a lot. All I can really say is because there's a lot going on here. Hearing everybody's perspectives on the war and everything. Cyril.
It's my job to protect Lady Rhea. I've got to do it, and I got to do it as best I can. If that means I gotta die for her, then I will. How could Edelgard treat Lady Rhea like she's the bad guy? She's never been anything but nice to everybody. I just don't get it at all.
You're a little young, Cyril. Maybe in, say 5 years, because they practically voice down your throat that there's gonna be a time skip. That,
Hello.
you know, you'll learn.
The Empire is moving quickly. Edelgard must have been preparing for this for a while now. If you really think about it, she must have been planning for this even before you got the Sword of the Creator. Of course she was always a step ahead of us. We were blinded by the ball and the battle of the eagle and lion and everything else. I refuse to go down like this, though. So let's do something about it. What do you say? It's you and me, Teach. We've got this.
We'll be there, Claude. We'll be there to fight for what we believe in.
What is Edelgard even trying to achieve? She wants to destroy the church so badly that she'll take on anyone who doesn't fall in line? I don't get it.
Her ideals are in conflict with yours.
I just can't believe she'd start a war over it. Not to mention using such nasty tactics to get her way. Could Captain Gerald's death have also been a part of her plan? Don't you go and die on me, Professor. Captain Gerald would never forgive you.
That's interesting to think about. How much has Edelgard planned for? Was she planning on me getting the Sword of the Creator? Also, we also kind of know that Edelgard isn't really the mastermind behind all this.
His Highness calls for the head of Edelgard. For me, that is cause enough to fight.
Oh, would Dimitri say that? That is against the guys that teach us? Are you truly all right with that?
The hatred of His Highness is also my hatred. Any other feelings I may have are irrelevant.
This'll be interesting. Hello, Hilda.
Professor, I guess it's easy for me to say this now. I'm so glad I'm from the Alliance. I had no idea Edelgard was so scary. And Dimitri seems totally different than before. I wouldn't bend a knee to either of them.
And how do you feel about Claude?
Well, I definitely don't hate him. He rarely takes things seriously. But somehow, I just know we can always rely on him. Well, if we're forced to protect this place, our future's going to be dark no matter what.
I have nothing to say about this, because every time I open my mouth in regards to Hilda, people hate me for it.
And if Edelgard was responsible in any way for the tragedy of Duscur, that is something I cannot ignore. If that is the case, then she is my enemy.
Into the Blue House. Oh boy.
Things must be pretty crazy in Fargus about now. My father must be beside himself. I don't get it. Why did Edelgard make enemies with the nobles?
For the sake of her ideals?
Ideals she believed in so much, she was willing to start a war over them? Those must be some lofty ideals, to say the least.
Hello.
Once the Imperial Army reaches the monastery, we'll have no choice but to fight.
What's going to happen to us?
Everything will be all right.
I believe you. With the knights on our side, and especially with you, Professor, I know we can do this.
I guess going back to Hilda, my opinion of her, her thoughts on like the war and whatnot are negative to say the least.
The Empire's aggression cannot stand. But if we are going to attack them now, we must be honest with ourselves about our chances of success. It goes without saying that I will fight the Imperial Army with everything I have for as long as I am able. But House Gloucester's territory is adjacent to Imperial lands. Let us proceed with caution.
See, Lawrence is like is interesting because like he fights for the people. He fights for like he fights for the people, but he also fights for his status. So it's just very interesting to see like, oh, I you know, let's you know, make sure nobody in this battle is going to lose or die. But also my territory is really close to it. So I mean, like anybody would be that you know, conflicted, I'd say.
Edelgard became emperor and raised an army, huh? Who knew the kid had it in her? I mean, yeah, of course, I knew she'd be emperor eventually, but the more I think about it, the more surprised I am. I wonder who's gonna win.
Us or her, you mean?
But would it really be okay for Edelgard to win?
That remains to be seen, honestly. Seen. Remains to be seen how that would work. I don't know if it's just that they're not here, but I haven't found any lost items, I realized.
Okay.
Oh no, you're not. Okay, here we go.
Ugh, if I could go back to last month and throttle my carefree self. Now it turns out Edelgard is the Flame Emperor and the new Adrestian Empire. And she's striking out against the monastery, with the full force of the Imperial Army behind her. We gotta beat her at her own game, for our sake as well as Lady Rhea's.
All right. Spotted Felix, spotted Casper.
That girl's starting an all-out war, isn't she? But an enemy is an enemy, no matter who they are. Don't let compassion for her get in your way.
Felix, I imagine, would almost be excited at the prospect of this. Meanwhile, Casper...
I don't normally have a problem jumping into a fight, but it feels strange going up against my father. We aren't especially close, but he's not an opponent I'd want to face. I'd almost rather fight a monster. I hope he's not part of the group coming to attack Garreg Mach.
This war is gonna tear apart a lot of the students. Especially in the Black Eagle's house. Possibly going so far as to see, like, you know, entire, like, clans and families being destroyed. I'll do the training after. For now, we'll head over to the cathedral. Hello, Dimitri.
I'll have that girl's head. Just you wait.
Ever since the beginning, he's grown more and more violent.
I guess we have no choice but to fight, have we? Oh, but why would Edelgard do something like this? I'm sure we'll be all right, though, Professor. The goddess will keep us safe.
Well, Mercedes, I'm the goddess now. Hello, Marianne.
Professor, can we really defeat someone who is willing to turn their back on the world just to uphold their own beliefs? I've spent my whole life running in fear, and now
We can win this together.
Surely we can win if we rely on each other. Right, Professor?
Flane?
Professor, war is breaking out again, is it not?
I want to stop it if I can.
An honorable notion. Do you think there is something to be done? Whatever shall we do? I never wanted another war. All we can do is steel ourselves for the fight ahead.
Alright. Do I have enough renown to be able to do anything with this? No, you gain renown from doing stuff, from doing, like, other battles and whatnot. Which I have not done. While I'm here, I might as well do the notes. I forgot to do faculty training, but I might as well do... Oh, there are 2 notes. Okay, I was like, first I thought there were none. If you feel overwhelmed by teaching, just ask me for help. I predict that guiding these imps will, through their teenage years will be important for Fodlan's future. Huh, get it? I appreciate the offer by thinking behind. I'll let you know if I have any concerns. Alois definitely seems like he wants to be dependent on, even if he is a goof. A professor's job seems so repetitive. It's the same thing day after day. I used to be interested in teaching, but it seems too boring for someone like me. It's better than having to train every day. I'm too busy to ever be bored. Each day is full of unique challenges. She didn't like that much. All right, well, I got what I wanted out of the way. Well, now we head up to the second floor. Let's talk to Lysithea in the library.
So Edelgard, the one who calls herself the Flame Emperor, was connected to those strange beings. The Imperial Army might be using even more terrifying methods than we know. You had better be cautious, Professor. Any amount of carelessness might prove to be our undoing.
You know what? It's interesting that she says that, because now that I'm thinking back to like the talk about crests. Or crest stones rather. And that they're generally like very dangerous and rather like almost evil in a sense. Cause considering they turn people into, well, monsters from time to time. I'm kind of wondering if Edelgard's goal, as we heard of her wanting to get rid of the crest stones, and the cults, but the cult seems to want to use the crest stones. So I'll have to see how that goes.
The Holy Tomb held many crest stones.
It still does. We saved them all.
This is the first time I've heard of crest stones being hidden away in such a place. But more importantly, I'm interested to know the Empire's aim. Why would their army desire crest stones? There is power there, yes. And yet, I must think on this. The crest stones lie at the heart of the events surrounding Conan Tower and the chapel as well. And of course, the crest stones somehow transform those traitors and their captives into demonic beasts. Could that possibly be their aim? The Empire's army may well plan to use crest stones to create demonic beasts.
I don't buy it. While I'm here, I might as well get training. Nobody in there. Alois? Alois.
To think Edelgard was somehow connected to the captain's murderer. Well, perhaps it's pointless to get upset about the past. My duty now is to prepare for battle. We're depending on your strength, Professor. Crush our enemies.
I'm depending on you.
Captain, I hope you're watching. We will protect Garreg Mach.
Something tells me Geralt isn't too... I don't think he cares that much.
We must protect Garreg Mach. Defiling the Holy Tomb was a sacrilege. I will not allow such a thing to happen again. The Archbishop has already given you a new responsibility. I want you to rise to that honor.
What's the quest?
I have something to ask of you.
We have been scouting the makeup of the Imperial Army, but much is still unclear. Any information you could provide would be helpful. Collect information on the Imperial Army. A Knight of Saros would have that kind of information. Eagle Eye. So more so, I just have to find somebody who would be privy to that information that I'm looking for. I'll talk to Rhea first.
Excuse me. How are you, Professor? Any new changes to report? With the Imperial Army drawing near, it is most vexing that we cannot relax and converse as we once did. Thankfully, you have the divine protection of the goddess on your side. Please try to listen carefully for her voice.
I will try.
May the goddess's voice reach you.
Train me in... Yep. I need to do that for a while. Level up! Now D+. I have now learned Nosferatu. And I've gained the ability Faith level 2.
The glory of progress.
So I'll be able to turn that into a strength. Now let me go. I guess the other person I gotta talk to. Sedith? Did I already... Wait, I didn't train with Sedith. I should do that now.
must defy the Archbishop.
Faculty training. Give me that sword training. There we go. And finally, we'll speak to Manuela. I believe she's the last person I need to speak to.
The mastermind behind the attacks on the monastery was Edelgard? Wow. Doesn't make much sense, though, does it? There would need to be all sorts of territories and groups tangled up in this sort of mess. I'm gonna stop. I don't really have the head for this political stuff. Mostly, I'm worried about my old opera company. I wonder what's happening in the capital right now. I hope they're safe.
Kind of makes me think of like what some people in each territory would be, you know, if there is internal struggle between the territories.
Really?
Those in the Empire who are still devout followers, and those outside, but those in the Empire as well who are on the side of the war. Very interesting. Let's head over to the training grounds. Cause Catherine, we haven't trained with you yet.
Now it ends. We gotta.
Faculty training, train me up in swords. I'm almost to A rank, which would be great to have. Looks like I could talk to Catherine as well. Alright, let's go and talk to this Knight of Saros.
I cannot believe our negligence allowed the Empire to invade. Edelgard probably gathered her soldiers in Garreg Mach, intending to do this from the start. Soldiers disguised as merchants and pilgrims to avoid suspicion, infiltrating the entire area little by little. They couldn't be better prepared. We'll have a tough time winning this one, I'm afraid.
Imperial Army Intel. I need to report back to Seth with that, but before then, I believe I'm going to be talking to Catherine in the garden here in just a moment. Or somebody else. I didn't actually check this before Catherine. It's got to be Catherine. Oh no! Hanneman.
How are you doing, Professor? Would you care to join me for a cup of tea?
Okay.
It occurs to me that whenever we chat, I have a tendency to pester you with my questions and theories about your history. It seems only fair to speak on the topic of myself for once. And perhaps you might feel more positively inclined toward my research if I shared my own story.
You have my attention.
I am quite pleased to hear you're interested. Yes, quite pleased. Well, I suppose I should begin at the beginning, eh? I was born into a noble house of the Empire. Not a large house, mind you, but noble all the same. Our land holdings were small, but our bloodline was quite strong. So, as you can imagine, there were many of us in the family who carried the power of crests. I myself bear a minor crest. Our family's abundance of crests may be part of the reason I've been interested in the topic since I was just a boy. I dedicated myself to my studies, and after years of effort, I became lead crest scholar at the Empire's largest research institution.
Why come to Garreg Mach?
I had only Imperial blood, and thus Imperial crests, at my disposal in the Empire. So I came to Garreg Mach and devoted myself to my research during my time as a professor. My progress is slow, but with each revelation, I move ever closer to the answers I have sought for decades. Your cooperation as the bearer of the Crest of Flames ensures my research will continue to advance. In fact, it may bring me ever closer to the goal of uncovering everything there is to know about crests. I do hope you shall continue helping me advance in this field of study.
Okay.
Together, we will solve the mystery of your Crest of Flames, and our world will be the better for it. Shall we proceed? My lab instruments are fully prepared. I have a great number of tests I'm excited to carry out. No, don't worry. They won't hurt one bit.
I am kind of interested in the tests that Hanneman has, like, in terms of, like, I do want to know more about the Crest of Flames in general, and, like, Hanneman seems like the best authority on that. However, I get the feeling it's just going to be one of those things that comes with time to find out the answers, and no amount of research that Hanneman will do is going to be able to uncover that. In terms of what to do next, let's head to the dining hall and eat with our students. What do we got? Today's special. A lot of people are already full on... Let's go with Leonian Flame then.
This is nearly as delicious as Mother's cooking. I would happily eat this every day.
That looks delicious. Goddess forgive me, I've just got to indulge.
I think that glove that Leonie has is supposed to be like a, like, something for archery. But to me, it just looks like the opposite of a smudge guard for like a drawing tablet. If you've seen a smudge guard, it's basically a glove that only covers your ring finger and pinky. Full menu. Lysithea and Bernadetta. I'll try and get everyone's motivation up.
Eating delicious food really.
We go through this a lot, so I'm just gonna like start skipping these. I always like low key freak out whenever I see the whenever I see that like the thing doesn't actually go up. Dorothea. I'm wondering who else. Really just Dorothea and Cyril, honestly. Can I get them both in one? I doubt it. Don't think I'll be able to get the combination of Dorothea and Cyril. And I could try, like, wooing over some other people. Let's do Dorothea and... Ugh.
Yummy.
Smack. All right. That's everything we have to do here, and... Oh, no, it's not everything we have to do here. I gotta go back up to, the second floor and give my notes to Seteth. Seteth. Here are your notes.
Well done. You have my
200 points of renown, as well as a steel shield and elixir. Quest complete. Renown is increased. We handed over the Imperial Army, yeah. I do have some gifts and flowers, but I'm also gonna be buying some of the... Actually, I might as well give him something. What do you even like, Seteth? Seteth, there we go. Flame, Church of Saros, Diligence, and Fishing. I have so many, like, fish gifts that I can't even give those to people.
We must defy the Archbishop.
Gifts. Yeah, baby, I compare you to a kiss from a rose on the grave. Ooh. The more I think of you, the stranger it feels. Yeah. Now that your rose is in bloom, the light seems to gloom on the gray. I don't think that's actually right. That's a fun song to sing, though. Let's see. Oh, before we end off, I think we'll probably do some supports. We got Lawrence, Ignatz, Leonie, and Lysithea. Lawrence and... Jesus. Is it all? Wait, are there more? No. Lawrence and... Ignatz, Marianne, and Hilda. Oh, right. He can't do these. Man, Lawrence, you're the lady, quite the ladies' man, aren't you?
Ignatz, hello. What are you up to? Ah! You frightened me.
Oh, calm yourself. What is it that you're drawing?
I thought I'd jot down some sketches of everyone while they're training. And then later on, I'll try to practice their moves on my own. But I can't really concentrate on sketching if someone's watching me.
Just sketches, Even so, they're lovely. There's such life in them. It's as if they're moving on the page before my very eyes.
You really think so? You know, I always hoped to be an artist.
With skills like that, I'm quite certain you could easily make a living of it. And your demeanor is different when you draw. Bolder somehow. Ah, yes, there's an idea. Perhaps in the future you will join my retinue as my personal painter. Wait, have we not discussed this arrangement already? I had decided to take you into my service as a knight, had I not?
Becoming a knight was my father's idea. Being an artist is out of the question, I'm afraid.
So you've said. Well then, I suppose you shall simply have to become a knight who also paints.
A knight who also paints?
I have seen your talent and can attest to it. Your gifts are too great to wither away in obscurity. A knight with the rare gift of artistic talent would be most welcome in my employ.
I had never thought of that. Still, I don't understand why you'd want me as one of your knights. As a fighter, I'm unremarkable.
There is more to knighthood than combat. Courtly manners, a dignified bearing, and an aesthetic sensibility are also essential. A knight with an eye for art and the talent to create it is sure to improve the image of the nobility.
Lawrence, I'd never have guessed you were prone to such eccentric ideas. Thank you. I'm feeling a little more confident after hearing your kind words.
Oh, no cause for thanks. It is a noble's duty to provide guidance to those in need.
Oh boy. Ignatz and... Oh, both... Man, Ignatz is becoming quite the ladies' man as well. Hi, Scythia.
Oh, hey, it's you. Going for a walk again today?
No, I'm on cooking duty today, and I have to head into town for some groceries.
All on your own? I'd better go with you. I'd be worried if you went by yourself.
No, please, I can manage on my own.
But won't you have a hard time carrying everything back?
Not at all. I'll be fine. I'm just replacing a few ingredients. Also, I may not look it, but I'm actually quite strong. I've been exercising every day.
You're right. You don't look it. Your biceps are a fraction of the size of Raphael's. If you start fumbling around under the weight of all the groceries, and then you trip and spill everything everywhere... Look, I'm just saying that could be your future. It could happen. It doesn't look pretty.
That's what you think of me, huh?
Yep. You're honestly a bit of a mess.
I see. If that's how you feel.
Oh, knock it off with the wounded puppy dog eyes. As though I'm some sort of villain in your story.
I'm sorry. That wasn't my intention. I'm just a bit sensitive, that's all. You're talking like you don't respect me.
I see. So now it's my fault? No matter how grown you seem to think you are, there's so much you're incapable of. You can play at being a mature adult, but it only ever complicates things, and that's exactly what makes you look like a child.
Oh, enough already! Would you just leave me alone?
Maybe I went a bit far that time. But he's so stubborn despite his ineptitude. I can't just leave it be. He's so foolish, constantly making a mess of things. Wait, but then...
No matter how much we stretch, some things are always beyond us. I think it's fine to be vulnerable and ask for help sometimes.
What he said to me before. To everyone else, do I seem just like Ignatz?
Well, that was a moment where Lysithea was very insufferable. She did have a moment of, you know, like, internal revelation there. So, oh boy, I didn't mean to... She did have like a moment of internal revelation there, so I'm assuming the A rank will be an apology and a chance for Lysithea to grow more as a character. Hopefully Hilda can do the same one day.
Who's there? Oh, hey, Ignatz.
I'm sorry. I didn't mean to interrupt you.
Relax. You're not interrupting.
I'm sorry. I didn't know you were training out here.
I sometimes come here to practice by myself. It's more like a real battlefield, you know? Shooting the targets in the yard lets you train your aim and all, but the tension just isn't the same.
You're right. A real battlefield feels quite different. But if that's the atmosphere you want, I feel even more like I'm intruding.
Oh, knock it off. You're already here. May as well stick around while I catch my breath.
Ah, okay, sorry. Thank you. Sorry to bother you.
You know you've said you're sorry about a dozen times since you got here.
Oh, I'm Ah.
It's fine. I guess it's part of your charm.
Hey, what's that bundle of papers? Oh, did you come here to paint? I remember now. Someone said you're a great artist. You paint a lot, right?
Yes. Yes. When I have the time, that is. I enjoy painting. It helps me relax.
Oh, well, that could be your thing.
My thing? Huh? What do you mean?
Last time we talked about it, you said you didn't have a thing you were really amazing at. But if you like painting so much, it must be a skill you're looking to master.
My paintings are nothing but a hobby. Besides, I'm not that good. I never took art lessons. When I was little, I drew a picture for a young girl. The picture made her so happy that I decided to keep at it. That's how it started.
So you're practicing your art to make other people happy? Is that it?
Oh no, that's an overstatement. I must insist again, it's just a hobby. Even if I were to become a master artist, it wouldn't be a useful skill.
Aren't you from a merchant family employed by the nobles? I think it would be really useful there.
I'm not inheriting the business. My brother is. My father said that I'm to become a knight. So my art won't do anyone any good. At all. Ever.
Oh, Ignatz.
I think Lysithea might have been right in pushing him a bit, but maybe Lysithea was pushing him in the wrong direction. He's gotta tough up! Be the man he's gotta be! He's gotta march right into his dad's office and say, Dad, you know, Greg may be taking over the merchant business, but I'm gonna be a knight who paints! We learned a lot about Ignatz today, and hopefully one day he will march into his father's office and demand to be a knight who paints. Anyway, with that, I'm gonna end off this episode. Next time on Fire Emblem 3 Houses, we don't have a lot of time left until the Empire marches on Garreg Mach. So, next time we're gonna be doing as much as we can to prepare for that, and probably taking them on in the same episode. In the meantime, I'm gonna continue with my fishing, get my professor level up, and all that jazz. And I'll see you all next time. Later!